What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Thursday, June 5th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate in the NBA Finals game between the Pacers and Thunder. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed and lines being released later and later in the day. Yesterday, guys, not looking so hot. We were coming off a 6-0 day, so a pretty amazing day, but not looking so hot here on Wednesday. We had the Cubs at -135, a 2-0 loss there. Kind of embarrassing to see the Cubs look that bad. I mean, Boyd and Gore were both great. Chicago's offense didn't show up, couldn't score against one of the worst bullpens in baseball. We had the Phillies at -105. That was a 2-1 loss. Both starters were great, and the Phillies fell apart there in the bottom of the ninth. So I guess we shouldn't be shocked to see their bullpen look bad. We still have the Seattle Mariners live there. They're a chance for a day saver for us. We could definitely use that win. They're now down 2-3 though in the top of the seventh, so that's not looking great. The Royals got rained out, and our lock of the day, that was the Atlanta Braves, and yeah, that was a tough one. Merrill Kelly throwing a one-hitter at him, and despite Sale being great, the Atlanta offense didn't get the job done. They should have won the game there in the bottom of the ninth, but eventually lost 2-1, so that's unfortunate. Guess we should have sided with that under, but let's see if we can find a bounce back here on a pretty solid slate here on Thursday, guys. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. We've got the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves here in our first game of the day. Diamondbacks come into this game obviously fresh off that 2-1 win we were just talking about. They've won 3 in a row now, so kind of turning things around, potentially not having an amazing season. Now, they'll hand the ball in this game to Brandon Pfaadt, who's 7-4 this year, a 5.05 ERA. His last time out, he got absolutely demolished by the Nationals, gave up 8 earned runs on 6 hits, and didn't even make it out of the first inning, I believe. Yeah, pretty embarrassing there. Overall, I would say his last 4 starts have been mediocre to decent, if I were being generous, but not somebody that I've loved this season. I don't think he has faced Atlanta this season. Back in late April, 6 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, so not necessarily an amazing outing, but he got plenty of run support, so we'll see if he can replicate that in this game. Now, the bullpen in this situation, guys, obviously no surprise to anyone here that the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen, not very good. One of the worst bullpens in Major League Baseball, but they're getting a little bit better, still bottom 5. The offense is supposed to be amazing, obviously coming off a 2-run game there against, Sale. Not going to be expecting you to put up crazy numbers against him, but over the course of the year, they're still 5th in runs scored and 6th in batting average, so not an offense that I think is struggling too much. So we'll see what they can do here on the road going up against the Braves. We're looking to snap now a 3-game losing streak. They'll hand the ball here to Grant Holmes, who's 3-4 this season, a 3.78 ERA. His last start was against Boston, 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs allowed. So nothing too incredible. Against Arizona this season, he faced them back on the 26th of April, and 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 earned runs allowed, including 3 home runs. So yeah, not a great look. Atlanta did win that game 8-7. In 10 innings, but not Grant Holmes' fault there at all. So we'll see what he can do, see what that Atlanta bullpen can do. They've been decent this year, but not amazing. A 3.64 bullpen ERA. Obviously, the light years better than the Diamondbacks, but still not great. The offense has been a big problem, guys. 1, 3, 1, and 5 runs over their last few games. Ozuna not having nearly as good of a season this year. They're 22nd in runs scored and 19th in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Diamondbacks are plus 120. The Braves are minus 140. We've got a total of 9. Arizona is a 500 team on the road. They're 14-12-2 to the over on the road. Atlanta is 17-12 at home and a 500 over-under team at home. I'll lean a little bit towards the over in this game, given the numbers that we've seen from these two pitchers in this specific matchup, and neither one's throwing the ball particularly well coming into this game. Now, I know 9 is a lot of runs for a game that involves the Atlanta Braves, so not a play that I'm in love with. If you're begging me for a side in this one, I'll take the Diamondbacks at this point. I'm pretty disgusted with what I'm seeing from Atlanta, but none of this is going in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, from that rain out we had yesterday, we've got game 1 of a doubleheader between the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals. The Royals come into this game fresh off a 10-7 win in game 1. Now they're getting ready to go into, a doubleheader. We'll see how that works out. They'll hand the ball in this game to Noah Cameron, who's been very good, 2-1 on the year, a 1.05 ERA. It's only his 5th start of the season. His last time out, he went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, only a single earned run against the Reds, and he hasn't given up more than a single earned run over his 4 starts this season. So pretty dominant stuff. He's already faced the Cardinals once this year back on May 17th. 6 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, 1 earned run allowed, struck out 3, and walked 0. So expecting pretty good stuff from Noah Cameron. I don't think that should be a huge shock here to anyone. The Royals bullpen has also been very good, top 6 in the majors. The offense is where the problems come up for the Royals. Now they're coming off a 10-run game. That's great. But 28th in the majors in runs scored and 26th in slugging percentage is a problem, but they are 12th in batting average and bringing up their young superstar from the minors. We'll see how that goes. He went hitless in his debut, but still, guys, not somebody that I think is going to have too much trouble hitting at this level. So we'll see how that goes here on the road against the Cardinals, who are 33 and 27 on the season. They've lost 2 in a row coming into this game. They're hitting the ball in this one to Miles Michaelis, who is having something of a renaissance this season. He's 4-2 on the year, a 3.90 ERA. The Cardinals, though, are 5-0 in his last 5 starts. He gave up 4 earned runs on 9 hits over 4 innings against Baltimore his last time out, but the bullpen came in and saved him, and the offense saved him as well, putting up 6 runs. Now, against the Royals, we've seen him look very good, giving up only a single run over 6 innings back on May 17th. So good stuff there, and the Cardinals won that game 1-0, but a very low-scoring game there. Obviously, no doubt about that. Now, the offense for the Cardinals has been amazing, and the bullpen has been a little bit of a problem. Now, it's getting better. A 4.12 bullpen ERA, not the end of the world. The offense is where the strength of this Cardinals team lies. I mean, 3rd in the majors in batting average, 8th in runs scored, 6th in on-base percentage. Is this offense really that good? I mean, I guess we have to admit they are, because they're now, 60 games into the season, and they're looking like this? Turns out they're pretty damn good. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Royals are plus 110. The Cardinals are minus 130. We've got a total of 8.5. Keep in mind this is game 1, guys. The Royals 13 and 16 on the road, 18, 10, and 1 to the under on the road. The Cardinals are 19 and 9 at home, 17, 14, and 1 to the over at home. I think under 8.5 is extremely live in this game. Especially on the second half of, the first half of a doubleheader here after an entire day, of getting rained out. I don't think that's going to have the batters looking the sharpest. I don't think an extra day of rest is going to matter as much in a negative way, at least to the pitchers. So I'll take the under here in game 1, and I'll also lean a bit towards the Royals at plus 110. So keep an eye on both of those plays. Both have a chance to end up in the pinned comment. Jumping in here, guys, with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last several years in a row. It's gotten off to a very good start here through the first 50, 60 games. Things are looking very, very solid. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not match what you see here in the video, as I am not the premium capper for MLB over at StumpTheSpread.com. We have an expert capper for baseball over there at StumpTheSpread, and he has been a monster for many years, guys. He's been covering MLB since, since the olden days, it feels like, to be honest. He takes every possible variable into consideration: weather, history against pitchers, righties, lefties, all that kind of stuff, history against teams, like every variable you can come up with, he is very, very likely going to be taking that into account. A crazy amount of work goes into these premium picks every single day. So definitely consider signing up for those over at StumpTheSpread.com. Regardless, get over there and check out the free stuff. We've got free picks that are only posted over there. We've got free to use bet size calculator, and also you got to get over there and get on the free email newsletter list. All they need for you to sign up for a free account, they need your name and your email address. That's it. That'll get you on that email list, and it's free information straight to your inbox every single day. We've got information on, first of all, there'll be regular free picks in there, but there'll be information on niche betting, on, crazy sports, maybe not crazy, but things like tennis, NASCAR, golf, all kinds of good information there. Also, parlays will be in there too, UFC information, all kinds of great information right at your fingertips there every single day. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member here on June 7th. So only in a couple of days. Definitely consider signing up for that. We'll be doing more giveaways. We've already crossed that 80 member mark, so we'll be doing 3 giveaways this month. We'll do one here on the 7th, we'll probably do one on the 14th, and then we'll do another one sometime around the 21st. Those days aren't set in stone. I'll have those set in stone after we do the giveaway for the 7th, but we're definitely doing 3 giveaways this month. Also, channel members get early access to all of our videos and get your name up on screen, just like you've been seeing here for a bit. But we've got a crowded slate and an NBA game to look at, guys, so let's jump back in and look at our next game. We've got the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Tigers and White Sox are actually playing right now. They're tied up in the top of the 8th inning at 4 apiece. So Detroit definitely messing around here. They won game 1 of this series, but lost game 2 in a blowout. Blew them out in game 1, got blown out in game 2. So we'll see if they can figure things out here in game 3. But I don't know. It has not looked the way I would have hoped it would look, at least if I was a Tigers fan. Now, Detroit going to hand the ball in this one to Casey Mize, who's 6-1 on the year, a 2.82 ERA. Obviously, he's been cruising. Now, his last start was at the Royals and didn't go great. 3 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs allowed. Now, we did see Detroit eventually win that game 7-5, so I'm sure they're not too upset, but definitely didn't get their best out of Mize in that game. Now, he hasn't faced the White Sox yet this season, and obviously he's put up very good numbers. We're going to have to wait and see what we get from him against the White Sox here. Now, the bullpen for Detroit's been excellent this season, up to a 3.38 bullpen ERA, but I think they're quite a bit better than that, to be completely honest. So I think we'll see a good day from the bullpen. In terms of the offense, obviously putting up only 1 run there in game 2 is not, normal for them. Over the course of the season, they're 4th in the majors in runs scored, 8th in slugging percentage, 11th in batting average. While it might not look like this is a top 10 offense at times, I do think by the end of the year, they're probably going to be in the top 10 in the majors at the plate. So a big step up for this Tigers offense. Now, they're taking on the White Sox, a team that's been pretty bad this season, 19-42 on the year, but they're showing a little bit of pride here recently. It hasn't necessarily been amazing, but at least they're kind of trying. They're handing the ball in this one to Sean Burke, who's 3-6 this year, a 4.20 ERA. He's come off a couple pretty solid starts. A good start against the Rangers, albeit a terrible offensive team there, and a decent start there against Baltimore. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs allowed there, but that was a 2-1 loss. We'll see which version of him we get. He's gotten shelled by the Cubs. He's going against the Detroit Tigers here. Not exactly a bad offense. So I'm expecting pretty good stuff from Detroit. Now, whenever Burke has to come out of the game, we'll see that White Sox bullpen, and it's getting steadily a little bit worse, guys. They're bottom 7 in the majors now, a 4.60 bullpen ERA. Obviously, not what you're looking for. Now, the offense has shown some signs of life, obviously putting up 8 runs and then 4 runs, but over the course of the year, they're 26th in runs scored, 2nd to last in batting average, and 2nd to last in slugging percentage, so not exactly expecting a monster performance from them at the plate, especially going up against Casey Mize. So, looking at the numbers here, the Tigers are minus 220, the White Sox are plus 180. We've got a total of 8.5. Detroit is 19-14 on the road, 21-12 to the over on the road. The White Sox 13-16 at home, 19-12-1 to the under at home. I'm not interested in the total in this game, guys, but I will certainly go ahead and take the Tigers here at minus 220, especially if they find a way to mess around and lose game 3 of this series. I think this could be a very, very solid bounce back spot for them. And with Mize on the mound, minus 220, not feeling too bad. It could end up being our lock of the day. Next on the dock, we got the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Phillies come into this game 37-24 on the year, fresh off of a pretty tough 2-1 loss there against Toronto in game 2. Real Muto getting hit by that foul tip, exiting the game in the 9th. Not a great look there. Pretty that's tough, man. Having played catcher as a kid, those can be pretty brutal, and I can't even imagine what that's like at Major League speed. So that's a little bit rough. Now the Phillies are going to hand the ball in this one to Jesus Luzardo, who's been excellent this season, 5-1 on the year, a 3.58 ERA. The problem was he had his worst start in his probably his entire Major League career. His last time out, giving up 12 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings there against the Milwaukee Brewers. So we'll see what he can do to bounce back. Obviously, he's been very good this season in general. In terms of going up against Toronto, he has not faced the Blue Jays this season, but overall, we've been pretty happy with what we've seen from Jesus Luzardo this season. The bullpen for the Phillies is a huge problem, a 4.64 bullpen ERA. That's a big yikes. That is a big reason why this team isn't being absolutely dominant this year. The offense coming off a 1-run game, that's not a great look either. They've been one of the best offenses in the majors this season. But we'll see how things go down the stretch. Obviously, this is going to be an amazing offensive team over the course of the year. I don't think you can really, get too down on that. 7th in runs scored, 5th in batting average. They're going to be all right out there. So we'll see what they can do against the Toronto Blue Jays, who come into this game 32-29 on the season. They, coming off that win, they're up to, 3 games over 500. They'll hand the ball to Chris Bassett in this game, who's 5-3 on the year, a 3.80 ERA. His last couple of starts have looked bad, guys. He got shelled by Tampa Bay and shelled by the Sacramento Athletics, so neither one of those looking too hot. He has had some good outings this year, but none of those were coming against the Phillies, and he hasn't had a lot of experience facing elite teams this year, but he did struggle against the Yankees last month. he struggled a little bit against, Tampa Bay, like we were just saying, and that's not even an elite offense. So we'll see what he does in this one. Not expecting miracles. The Toronto bullpen, though, has been pretty solid. Top 8 in the majors, a 3.36 bullpen ERA. Certainly a bit better than I would have thought they would be this season. The offense, maybe they're coming around. They're 8th in batting average, 17th in runs scored, and 13th in slugging percentage. They've scored 2, 3, 8, 8, 11, and 12 runs over the last few, but scoring 8, 8, 11, and 12 against the Athletics doesn't exactly fill me with optimism. So we'll see what they can do here. The Blue Jays are plus 105 here at home. The Phillies are minus 125 on the road. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Phillies are 18-12 on the road. That's actually an MLB best road mark. They're 18-11-1 to the under on the road. Toronto 21-13 at home, 16-10-1 to the under at home. With those kind of trends, I think we have to lean a little bit towards under 8.5 in this game. I think it'd be a little bit irresponsible to just ignore those trends, especially with these two guys on the mound. But in terms of a side, I'm going to take the Phillies here at minus 125 to bounce back, even if they're without their starting catcher. I know that's not great, but against Bassett, who's been struggling so aggressively his last 2 starts, I think this is a spot that's probably too good for us to pass up on, and we might have to put the Phillies at minus 125 in the pinned comment, even though they let us down yesterday. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. The Twins and Athletics are playing right now with Minnesota up 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th. The Twins have been playing pretty well, looking for their 3rd straight win here. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Bailey Ober, who's 4-1 on the year, a 3.48 ERA. His last start was against Seattle, and it wasn't amazing, but 4 innings, 6 hits, and 2 earned runs kept his team in the game. They did eventually lose in extras. I would say over his last 5 starts, he really hasn't shot his team in the foot aggressively at any point, but, he could be better, and he's shown better stuff at some points this season. I don't believe he's faced the Athletics yet this year, but overall, I don't think we hate Bailey Ober here on the mound. The Twins' bullpen has been excellent this season, 5th best in the majors, a 3.17 bullpen ERA. The problem for this team has been the offense, guys. It just doesn't feel right all the time. Now, they've scored 10 runs in each of their last 2 games, so I'm not complaining too much. They're 16th in runs scored, but 20th in batting average and 20th in slugging percentage. Maybe paints a little bit more accurate picture of what this squad is at the plate. So we'll see what they can do here against the Athletics, who don't have a confirmed starter yet for this game. They're trying to avoid their 9th straight loss currently. Their rotation in general has been a huge problem. They're 23rd in quality starts, last as a team in earned run average against, and second to last in batting average against. So yeah, not exactly a squad you can get too excited about at the plate. The bullpen has been the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball so far this year, and the offense, while it's looked great at times, is not quite good enough to outshine to deal with that bad of a rotation, that bad of a bullpen. So we'll see what they can do here at home. Unfortunately, no numbers yet for this game, so keep an eye on that pinned comment throughout the day if you want to see whether or not this one makes it in. Next on the docket, we've got the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. We need the Mariners to come through here on Wednesday as a kind of a day saver. We'll see if that can happen. They're down 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th. The Orioles are going to hand the ball in this game here on Thursday to Zach Eflin, who's 4-2 on the year, a 4.46 ERA. He was dominant against the White Sox his last time out, went 7 innings. An amount of work that he's not really accustomed to. He's gone 6 innings a few times this year, but never 7, and I'm always a little bit worried when guys are coming off of extended starts. The Baltimore bullpen's obviously been terrible, bottom 4 in the majors, so nothing positive to report there. Is the offense coming alive? I mean, they've scored 3, 5, 3, 4, and 2 runs over their last few games. I wouldn't exactly say they're killing it. They're 25th in the majors in runs scored and 25th in on-base percentage, a massive fall off from what we saw from this team a season ago. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Mariners, who come into this game 32-27 on the year, trying to avoid their 2nd straight loss. They'll hand the ball in this game to Brian Wu, who's been lights out this year, 5-2, a 2.82 ERA. Now, his last couple of starts starting to show some reason for concern. Gave up 10 hits, but only 2 earned runs against Houston in a 2-1 loss. Gave up 6 hits, but only 3 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings in a 12-6 extra inning loss in his last start. So we'll see what we get from him in this one. Going up against the Orioles, maybe, not a spot where we have any, history this season. So we'll see what things look like. Obviously, Brian Wu's been good over the course of the year, but lately, maybe not showing his best stuff. That Seattle bullpen has been pretty consistently decent this year, but up to a 3.82 bullpen ERA, showing some problems recently. The offense also cooling off a bit after such a crazy start to the year. They're 13th in runs scored, but 23rd in batting average, so not looking like as scary of an offense as they did in the early goings. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Orioles are plus 145, the Mariners are minus 170. We've got a total of 7.5. Baltimore's 11-19 on the road, 18-11-1 to the under on the road. Seattle is 16-15 at home, and they're a 500 over/under team at home. I'm going to be leaning towards the Mariners here at minus 170 with Brian Wu on the mound. I just don't really trust Zach Eflin at all at this point, and with Wu on the mound, I think they'll, have a good chance to bounce back here, especially if they, end up losing this game. I don't think we're going to see them lose 3 straight in this matchup. Next up, we've got the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Padres and Giants are playing right now with the Giants up 6-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. So we'll see how that one ends. The Padres would have been going for or are going for their 3rd straight win. So we'll see if they can make that happen. They'll be handing the ball in this game to Dylan Cease. He's 1-4 this year, a 4.66 ERA, certainly taking something of a step back from how good he looked a season ago. His last start, he struggled a little bit against the Pirates, giving up 7 hits over only 4 2/3 innings and 3 earned runs in what was eventually a 5-0 loss there for the Padres. He hasn't gotten, an unfair amount of run support recently. It doesn't feel like. He's given up 3 earned runs in each of his last 3 outings. We see the Padres are only 1-2 over those outings, and over his last 5, they're only 2-3. So, yeah, not the best stuff. Now, against the Giants here, this will be his first start of the year, so we'll see how that goes. Cease definitely still has time to turn things around. Now, that Padres bullpen's been very good, a 3.13 bullpen ERA, not too much to question there. 3rd best in the majors. The offense is where the problems have kind of been, guys. Manny Machado's led the way, but they're just not hitting the cover off the ball. I mean, in their current game, putting up 5 runs is a big game for them. They've scored 5, 3, 1, 6, 0, and 3 runs over their last few. Just not looking like a top-tier offense like they were supposed to. So we'll see what they can get done here against the Giants, who come into this game trying to avoid losing 3 straight right now. We'll see what goes on in this one as they hand the ball to Robbie Ray, who's 7-1 on the year, a 2.43 ERA. His last start, he was real good, guys. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run allowed, struck out 9 and walked 3, and was eventually a 1-0 loss against the Miami Marlins. So I'm expecting Robbie Ray to eventually get some run support here. He's been very good this season, very, very good. And that Giants bullpen's with the best bullpen in the majors over the course of the year. So great stuff overall there. Obviously, now offensively, the Giants could use some work. They're 18th in runs scored, but 25th in batting average and 22nd in on-base percentage. Not a lot of dudes you're super scared of at the plate. I mean, maybe Ramos, but 11 home runs, 31 RBIs, and batting .293 is very good, but I don't think it really inspires fear. They've scored 2, 0, 4, 0, and 2 runs over their last few games. Not exactly a team that's hitting the cover off the ball. So, looking at the numbers for this one, the Padres are plus 110. The Giants are minus 125. We got totals out there of 7.5 or 7. The Padres are 15-14 on the road, 15-13-1 to the under on the road. San Francisco is 17-11 at home, and they're a 500 over-under team at home. I'm not worried about the total in this game, guys. I would maybe lean slightly towards the under, I guess, but really think this is a great spot to be looking at the Giants here at minus 125. Robbie Ray seems like he's having a much better year than Cease is, and I just like a lot of what I'm seeing from the Giants, so definitely give me San Francisco here. Next up, guys, we just got numbers for, and that is the New York Mets going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. The Mets come into this game, guys, 38-23 on the season. They're actually playing right now in the middle of the 6th inning with the Mets up 3-0. So they're looking pretty good here in game 3 of this series. They'll be handing the ball to David Peterson, who's 4-2 on the year, a 2.69 ERA. His last few starts have been excellent. He hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs over any of those starts. He faced the Dodgers back on the 24th of May, went 7 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 2 earned runs while striking out 7 and walking 2 in a 5-2 Mets win. So that's some pretty good history, and it is pretty recent. So liking David Peterson on the mound here. Obviously loving that Mets bullpen. A 2.86 bullpen ERA is 2nd best in the majors. The offense for the Mets seems like it's figuring things out. I mean, only 3 runs in their current game, so maybe I shouldn't celebrate too much, but they've got plenty of talent out there. They're 11th in the majors in runs scored, 8th in on-base percentage, and 7th in slugging percentage. They haven't been putting up cartoon numbers, but they're putting up some numbers, and I kind of expect that to continue here. So we'll see what they can get done on the road against the Dodgers, who come into this game, obviously, still playing down 3-0 in the middle of the 6th. Now, they're 37-24 on the year, so they don't have too much to worry about as they hand the ball to Landon Knack, who's 3-2 this season, a 4.58 ERA. His last couple starts have been dominant, a very good one against the Mets, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, only one of them was earned, struck out 5 and walked 0. So we'll see if he can replicate that. Just had a very good start against the Yankees as well. So liking a lot of what we're seeing from Landon Knack right now, but he could get tested here against the Mets. He is at home, so maybe that helps a bit, but even with Knack on the mound, we have to worry about that Dodgers bullpen, a 3.91 bullpen ERA. Not exactly what you're wanting to see if you're a Dodgers fan. The offense is obviously excellent. I mean, Edman tweaking his ankle, that's not great. I'll be a little bit surprised if he plays in this game, but they're still 1st in the majors in runs scored and 1st in batting average and 1st in slugging percentage, and they got Freddie Freeman and Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez. So, liking a lot of what we're seeing here for the Dodgers. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, The Mets are plus 120. The Dodgers are minus 142. We've got a total just being posted, like first look here, of 10 in this game. Is that really going to stay at 10? Like, is that a real thing? I'm seeing 10s and 9.5s out there. So we're going to go with it, guys. And I'm probably going to go with the under. The Mets are a big under team on the road. The Dodgers are just basically a 500 over-under team at home. Obviously, the Dodgers have a very good home record. So I'm a little bit scared of the side in this game. I would maybe lean towards the Mets just a tiny, tiny bit at that plus 120. But I think under 10 is a very live play in this one. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Astros come into this game 33-28 on the year, fresh off of losing Game 2. They won Game 1 3-0. They lost Game 2 3-0. So we'll see what they do in this one, handing the ball to Framber Valdez, who is 5-4 on the year, a 3.12 ERA. He's coming off a complete game outing there against the Tampa Bay Rays, where he gave up 3 hits, only a single earned run. Pretty dominant stuff. The Astros are 5-0 over his last 5 starts. Now, the last time he had an extended start, he went 8 innings, gave up 6 hits, and 1 earned run against the Royals. Then followed that up with 7 innings, 6 hits, and 3 earned runs against the pretty weak hitting Texas Rangers. So we'll see which version we get here. Going 9 innings is pretty tough. Guys usually don't look great the start after that. So we'll see what happens. The Astros bullpen has obviously been pretty good this year, a 3.42 bullpen ERA. Now, it's been slightly worse recently, but I'm not going to read too much into that. The offense for this team is not great. It just hasn't looked great, guys. I mean, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, and 5 runs over the last few. Not cartoon numbers. They're top 10 in batting average, but 21st in runs scored and 16th in slugging percentage. Not running a lot of dudes out there that I am terrified of. So we'll see what happens in this game as they go on the road to take on the Pirates. Obviously not a team that a lot of guys are going to be scared of. Now, they'll hand the ball here to Mitch Keller, who's 1-7 on the year, but a 3.73 ERA. Hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in any of his last 5 starts, so very respectable stuff there. The Pirates are only 1-4 over that span, but regardless, I think we can feel pretty decent about Mitch Keller on the mound despite his bad results over the course of the season. In terms of his win-loss record, not something that's all that important for pitchers. You can only do so much. The Pirates bullpen, though, that does worry us a bit. A 4.44 bullpen ERA has him clearly in the bottom half of the majors, and this offense is obviously terrible, guys. 3, 0, 4, 5, 2, 10, and 9 runs over their last few is actually bonkers numbers for a team that's still 29th in the majors in runs scored and last in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers here, the Astros are minus 160. The Pirates are plus 135. We've got a total of 7.5 in this game. Houston, 11-16 on the road, 15-10-2 to the under on the road. Pittsburgh 14-17 at home, 19-10-2 to the under at home. You could take under 7.5 in this game, but I'm not going to be doing that because I am very concerned about what we're going to get from Framber Valdez coming off of such an extended start. I'll be looking towards the Pirates here at plus 135 with Mitch Keller on the mound. The dude is due to get some run support. I think Valdez is due to struggle a little bit. Now, the Astros bullpen is very good. The Pirates bullpen is not. So that does leave room for concern. But I'm actually legitimately considering the Pittsburgh Pirates here at plus 135 to have a real chance to win this game with Valdez being fatigued. Next on the docket, we have the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Cubs come into this game 38-23 on the season. They lost Game 2 2-0. They'll hand the ball here to Drew Pomeranz, who normally a bullpen guy. He did make a start his last time out, but only went 1 inning back on the 31st of last month. So it seems like they're going to start him again. I would assume they'll try and let him go a little bit deeper into the game, but nothing too crazy. Whenever he comes out, the rest of that Cubs bullpen has looked pretty decent over the course of the year, or maybe not over the course of the year, but at least recently, a 3.56 bullpen ERA. They're hovering around the top 10. The offense hit a little bit of a snag, obviously getting shut out, but I doubt that happens 2 games in a row because they're the second highest run scoring team in the majors. They're also second in batting average and third in on-base percentage. They've got some scary, scary bats to run out there. So we'll see what they do here against the Nationals, who obviously coming off that win, but are still only 29-32 on the season. They'll hand the ball to Jake Irvin, who's 5-1 on the year, a 3.93 ERA. He got shelled by the Diamondbacks his last time out, but got taken out. He avoided the loss, and so did the Nationals because they scored 9 runs in that game. We'll see if he bounces back in this one. Not somebody I'm necessarily expecting miracles from, but his numbers do indicate that he at least get run support if nothing else. So we'll see what happens here. The Nationals bullpen, one of the worst in the majors, second worst actually, and the offense, well, it's looked okay sometimes. 12th in runs scored, but 19th in batting average, 19th in on-base percentage. I think we're probably looking at an under, MLB average offense for the year. So, unfortunately, no numbers for this game, so we'll have to wait and see on this one. But, yeah, check the pin comment, guys. This one could end up in there. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Guardians come into this game fresh off a 4-0 win there in Game 2. So 33-27 on the year doesn't look too bad after that kind of an outing. Now, they'll hand the ball in this one to Slade Ciccone, who's 1-1 on the year, a 5.28 ERA. He's had one decent, one excellent, and one terrible start so far. This is only his fourth start of the year. Got kind of knocked around there by the Angels, and it was eventually a 7-5 win there for Cleveland, but it was not Slade Ciccone's fault. That Cleveland bullpen, pretty middle of the road, a 3.85 bullpen ERA. Not a disaster, but not necessarily a massive strength for this team. The offense, guys, I mean, it's not good. Let's just be honest. I mean, Jose Ramirez leading the way, batting .327 with 11 home runs. That's fine, but they're 24th in the majors in runs scored. They are 24th in the majors in batting average. I mean, let's not freak out too much, but this is not a good offense, guys. Definitely looking like a bottom third of the majors kind of offense. So it could be a problem here in this one going up against a Yankees team that's probably the best team, the best offense in the majors. They'll hand the ball in this game to Max Fried, who's 7-1 this year, a 1.92 ERA. He's coming off his worst start of the season, though, no doubt about that. 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 6 earned runs allowed there at the Dodgers in an 8-5 loss for the Yankees. So we'll see if he can bounce back. Obviously, he's put up excellent numbers over the course of the year. Hasn't faced Cleveland yet, but I struggle to think that's going to be a massive problem for him. So, yeah, I expect good things from him. The Yankees' bullpen has been pretty good all season long. Now, it's hit some bumps in the road recently, but I'm not too worried about that group. And the offense, while it's coming off a game we got shut out in, still third best in the majors runs scored, fourth in batting average, first in on-base percentage. I mean, you got Aaron Judge. Like, they're doing okay. They're doing all right. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Guardians are plus 220. The Yankees are minus 265. We've got a total of 8.5. Cleveland, 16-16 on the road, 15-14-3 to the over on the road. The Yankees are 19-10 at home, 15-14-2 to the under at home. I'm going to be leaning towards the Yankees here at minus 265, and it could be our lock of the day. I'm expecting a big bounce back after a terrible offensive day from the Yankees. So, yeah, and I think going up against Slade Ciccone definitely doesn't hurt. So, give me the Yankees here at minus 265. Is it going in the pinned comment? Maybe, and if it is, it'll be the lock of the day. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rangers come into this game 29-33 on the season, fresh off of a second straight loss in this series. They'll hand the ball in this game to Jack Leiter, who's 4-2 this year, a 3.66 ERA. This young 25-year-old has looked pretty comfortable on a big league mound. Now, the Rangers are only 2-3 over his last 5 starts, but that's not really his fault. He's been pretty good. Excellent start against the Cardinals, good start against the White Sox, decent start against Houston, excellent start against Colorado, and mediocre start against Boston over his last 5 outings. So I don't think you can complain too much about that. We'll see what he looks like here against Tampa Bay, but I would say Jack Leiter's been a plus level pitcher there for the Rangers, and at 25, that's pretty good. The Rangers bullpen, a 3.63 bullpen ERA. Definitely trending in the right direction there. The offense is where the problems arise for this team, and it's getting pretty dark. They're 27th in the majors in runs scored, 28th in batting average. Their on-base percentage is .284. That's 29th in the major league. So not great. We'll see if they can bounce back here against the Rays, who are 32-29 in the season, handing the ball in this game to Ryan Pepiot, who's 3-5 on the year, a 3.21 ERA. His last couple of starts have been dominant, guys. He's given up 0 earned runs over those starts, only 5 hits. Unfortunately for him and for the Rays, they're only 1-1 over that span. So, I mean, that's a little bit disappointing, but the kid is throwing the ball great right now. We'll see what he can do against the Rangers. Not a team he's faced yet this year, but definitely not a scary offense. The bullpen for Tampa Bay, 4th best in the majors, a 3.16 bullpen ERA. Excellent there. And the offense kind of starting to put it together here for Tampa Bay. I mean, they scored 5-5-0, 16-1, and 13 over their last few games. They're up to 14th in the majors in runs scored and 15th in batting average. To be honest, if this is an average MLB offense, I think the Rays would be okay with that. So looking at the numbers here, the Rangers are plus 125, the Rays are minus 150. We've got a total of 9 in this game. Texas is 9-20 on the road, 16-12-1 to the under on the road. Tampa Bay is 20-19 at home, 13-9 to the under at home. I mean, I love under 9 in this game. Maybe I'm walking into it, guys. Let me know down in the comments if I'm walking into it somehow, but under 9, very much, likely to end up in the pinned comment here. I like what Pepiot's doing recently. I like what Jack Leiter's doing recently. Neither offense scares me. Like, give me the under, and I think it's pretty good value. In our last MLB game on this video, before we hop over and look at our NBA Finals game, we've got Game 2 between the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals. Game 2 of that doubleheader there in St. Louis. Now, the Royals will be handing the ball in Game 2 to Cole Rangans. He's 2-3 on the year, just coming off of the injury list with that groin issue. Now, when he went on the injury list, he had struggled there in 3 out of his last 4 starts, including a not great start there against St. Louis, where the Royals eventually lost 10-3. So definitely something to take into consideration here. The Royals bullpen, we all know, is pretty good. The offense is pretty mediocre, so we'll see what they can do here against the Cardinals, who, come into this game hitting the ball in Game 2 of the doubleheader to Matthew Liberatore, who's 3-4 on the year, a 3.08 ERA. Now, his last start was against the Rangers, and it did not go well. He had been throwing the ball incredibly well, including a 6-inning, 6-hit, 1-run outing there against the Royals that unfortunately for him and for the Cardinals was a 2-1 loss. But overall, happy with how Liberatore threw the ball there against the Royals in that one. This time he gets to be at home, so we'll see if that makes a huge difference. Now, the numbers for this game, the Royals are plus 102, the Cardinals are minus 118. We've got a total of 7.5. The Royals are, slightly below a 500 team on the road. They're a significant under team on the road. The Cardinals are 19-9 at home and a slight over team at home. In terms of, a side in this game, I'm going to be leaning a bit towards the Cardinals here at minus 118 because of Rangan's struggles recently against the Cardinals. This is a little bit tough to figure out, since it's Game 2 of a doubleheader. I'm not going to be taking under 7.5, so maybe over here in Game 2, but don't love that either. So this is kind of a wait-and-see spot a little bit with a slight lean towards the Cardinals at home. Now, guys, we're going to go ahead and hop over to our NBA Finals Game 1 between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the Pacers, they come into this game fully healthy. Obviously, that's a great look of, a big plus, to be fully healthy at this point in the season. Actually, pretty much an absolute must. And, with all the injuries we've seen this year, it can get a little bit sketchy. Now, they've had a pretty interesting and sometimes easy-looking path to the NBA Finals here. Now, they knocked out the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games there to open their postseason. So, very good stuff there, only losing that one game and really using their pace to an advantage. Then they took down the banged-up Cleveland Cavaliers in only 5 games, which very impressive stuff there. Their pace clearly bothered Cleveland, and they were just seemingly better at doing everything that Cleveland wanted to do, kind of. But, a lot of injuries there for the Cavaliers, so maybe take that one with a grain of salt. But they were also very convincing there against the Knicks. Kind of didn't seem super locked in, after going up 3-1 there, in Game 5. Kind of felt like they let that one get away, but they definitely locked things down there in Game 6 with a 125-108 win. We've seen amazing stuff from Siakam, obviously from Halliburton, in this postseason. So a lot of massive positives for, Pacers fans. We've seen some guys struggle as well, but it not be as big of a deal. We've also seen some guys have some insane performances. I mean, the Aaron Nesmith game is going to go down in history. So crazy stuff there. Their bench is pretty solid. McConnell, Shepard, Mathurin, Toppin. Obi Toppin's actually had some big moments here in the postseason. Now, Thomas Bryant, if you're getting a lot of Thomas Bryant minutes out there, that's a concern. How Miles Turner plays in the series is going to be a big deal. So we'll see what they can do here. Going on the road to play in a very tough environment against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who've had a pretty cool path to the NBA Finals here. Now, really looking dominant for most of it, not all of it, guys. They obliterated the Memphis Grizzlies in 4 games, and really not a team that even deserved to be anywhere close to the postseason the way things were going for them. But then they had an incredibly tough series there against the Denver Nuggets, a 7-game series where they came out on top with a blowout win in Game 7, but things were pretty close. Now, Denver did get maybe a little bit lucky down the stretch, but there was some clear, clearly the Thunder were struggling against Jokic, which anybody's going to, but they had their weaknesses against massive centers. Now, that's not going to be a problem in this game going up against Miles Turner and the Pacers. It wasn't even that big of a problem for them against the Timberwolves, a series they won in 5 games, thanks in some part to being able to play incredibly physical on defense there against guys like Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle too to some extent, but defense and physicality has kind of been the calling card here for the Thunder this season, so I don't expect that to slow down anytime soon. Definitely not here. It's going to be very interesting to see how the pace of play works out in this series. Now, the Thunder, I mean, both teams are okay to run. The Pacers, though, that's their whole game. Are the Thunder going to let them do that and run with them, or are they going to try and slow things down? It's going to be very interesting to see. Also, the Thunder, a very deep team. It's been amazing to see Jalen Williams emerge as a legitimate playoff threat. No more struggles here for Jalen Williams in the playoffs. It doesn't look like. We'll see what happens in the finals here. Now, obviously, the defense of Dort, Alex Caruso, I mean, really the whole team has been pretty awesome. Chet Holmgren having some big moments, knocking down some big threes there, late in that series against the Timberwolves. So we'll see. The Thunder could be maybe a little bit rusty coming into this game. That's a concern for them after, not playing nearly as many games there as the Pacers, but we'll see what happens. Now, Looking at the numbers for this game, the odds makers love the Thunder. They're huge favorites to win this entire series. They are huge favorites to win game one here. They are minus 9.5 in this game. We've got a total of 231. The Pacers, a slightly over 500 against the spread team on the road over the course of the year. They are a significant over team on the road. The Thunder, 34-14-2 against the spread at home this season. That is an MLB or an NBA best against the spread at home. They're also a significant over team at home. In terms of the total for this game, over 231.5 seems over 231 seems very, very reasonable to me here. It's probably not going in the pin comment because we don't really know what this series is going to look like. It's only game one, but I do think a slight overplay is reasonable. I also, I'm going to be leaning towards the Pacers here, getting nearly 10 points in this game. Like, I think they're a really good team. I think they match up okay with the Thunder. It's going to be very, very interesting to see which team gets to dictate pace of play. I know playing in OKC is supposed to be really tough, and it has been really tough for some teams at some points, but the Pacers have seemed kind of immune to that. So I'm going to be leaning here kind of significantly towards Indiana getting 9.5. Now, let's hop into a couple of player props for this one. We're not going to go nuts here. It's only game one of the series. We don't really know that much about how the matchups are going to work. We don't really know that much about how the series is going to be played. So take these with a big grain of salt. Neither one's going in the pinned comment, but first up, I'll take SGA under 33.5 points in this game. Insane pace probably going to exist in this game, especially with everybody being all pumped up for game one of the NBA Finals. Indiana's going to want to push the pace as much as possible. I think that could maybe mess up SGA just a little bit. He could get fatigued here if the Thunder need him to, carry a ton of the scoring load here, especially if you get a score at such a high pace. So we'll see how that works out. I'll lean just slightly towards under 33.5 points for him in this game, but keep in mind, it's just game one. These are very small prop leans. I also like Siakam over 19.5 points in this game. I don't think anyone on the Thunder can really, it's a great matchup to slow him down defensively with his size and his length and his athleticism. So we'll see how that works out. I mean, obviously an insane pace is what he's used to playing at, and I think we'll see him put up significant numbers here in game one. Also, since I'm leaning towards the Pacers, expecting Siakam to have a good game just kind of makes some sense. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you're getting over to stumpthespread.com, getting on that free email list. It's absolutely free, and there's a link down there in the description. And we will see you guys tomorrow right back here, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.